taking this session on technologies transforming real estate. So let me just start by sharing my screen once. Sapna, can you just enable screen sharing? So yeah, I have divided today's session into three major parts, and then we'll go into the questionnaire. So the first part, I wanted to take time and educate our audience about 4 key technologies that are transforming the real estate industry. The second part of the session is describing how these technologies are impacting the industry use case. And the third part is I'll be taking them through a live demo of one of the solutions that we have been seeing great success during the entire pandemic time. So let me get started. So hi everyone, to give you a quick background, we are going to talk about technologies transforming the real estate. Before we start, a quick background about who we are. So we are a prop tech company. We started in 2016 to create high quality 3D visualizations using software. So till date, we have filed 5 international patents on real estate 3D creation and remote showcases. And we have also been recognized as one of the top tech companies by CBRE and NASSCOM. Recently, we also partnered with Square Yards Group to kind of expand the network of the entire technology impact that we can create. So till date, we have been working with 40 plus top developers across India to kind of provide solutions in various areas where we could improve their aspects of marketing and communication overall to their customers. So something that I keep telling all the developers and the entire industry about is how the world of marketing is moving, right? So we started with the era of audio-based content where the marketing was mostly towards radio-based communications, and we moved from that to a text, images, and video-based communication where it is more of video, social media, and we are trying to generate a lot of content around this. Moving forward, if you look at the next decade and the next evolution that is coming up is how the world is moving from a 2D based content to a 3D based content. So you must be reading news about how Facebook, Google, Apple, all these companies are investing heavily into these technologies, and some of which we are going to also see today. And this is the era where we need to be ready about how we can impact, how this can impact real estate and how we can actually take this in advance so that we can take maximum benefit out of it. So let me start with the first part. I'm going to talk about 4 key technologies and how they're revolutionizing the entire 3D world. So if you have been following the entire industry of technology, you must be knowing that the 3D scans are becoming generic. And one of the major reasons of this is the entire concept of 3D scanning is evolved from LiDAR scanners. So this LiDAR scanner previously was a very high-tech component which used to be followed in autonomous cars. So if you look at the industry, when the autonomous cars have evolved so much, now even phones like iPhone recently, if you look at iPhone 12, they launched LiDAR sensor part of their smartphone camera itself. What this means to the industry is that with your smartphone, you would be now able to scan your space around and you can convert that into 3D. Now, if you look at it, this could be entirely disruptive, not just Apple. Once Apple does, you know that the industry kind of follows and Android phones and all these start adopting to it. So imagine what happens if all these phones start having cameras that can scan the space around us completely in 3D. Let me show you the impact in real estate. So imagine you have model houses in real estate, or you have your houses to sell in real estate. So today, to visualize these houses, it is very difficult for a customer to kind of understand this. But imagine instead of taking photo, now you take your phone and you scan your space around, and that gets converted into an experience like this, where the customer can kind of walk through the entire scene without like taking too much effort to kind of create these experiences. So with that impact of putting sensors on the phone, you can now create high quality 3D visualizations at a fraction of cost and fraction of time. The second key technology that is impacting the industry is the entire concept of 3D visualizations. So if you have been seeing all this animation movies, right, you must be noticing that these animation movies are becoming more and more real. As we go about, it's very difficult to kind of differentiate what's actually real and what's animated. So the entire reason for that is because the power of technology and computing hardware has become so much that using AI and using this 3D hardwares, you can now render high quality content at a very, very short span of time. So we have been seeing that in real estate, you can actually use this technology to kind of create high quality visualizations at a very, very short time. And you can generate this very, very quickly. Using this and AI together, we have seen that one of the biggest impact for the industry can be that you can just by uploading, you can recognize your floor plan and convert that into a very high quality 3D visualizations. The impact of this is you don't need to invest too much money on building your model flats, physically staging them when you have the power of 3D. So today in residential, every builder has like 2 BHK, 3 BHK, all these variants. So instead of like creating these variants physically, which takes a lot of time and there's a lot of money involved, you can create this in extremely realistic ways. So there are some customers I could talk about who have used this technology to kind of create multiple variants in the beginning phase and use this as a A/B testing in the market to see which of their variants, what kind of interior styles and what kind of specifications can be best used for the market. The third important technology era that you must be all be knowing, like right now we are on Zoom, right? So the growth of conferencing apps. So if you look at it, the pandemic has actually taken the world around 5 to 10 years ahead. So the entire concept of work from homes, conferencing, all this was kind of expected to happen in 10 years. Because of the pandemic, this has moved quickly. So with this entire concept of video and voice conference, where are we going in the real estate space, right? So people want to like first look at these properties that they are visiting. They want to kind of remotely get stuff. So if you look at overall consumer behavior, today we are so used to things coming to us, like you order something on Amazon, you get it in a day or so. You order something on Dunzo or Swiggy, you can get your food. So why not real estate, right? So with the entire technology of this 3D world and your digitization, you can merge that with video conferencing that can allow you to take real estate to consumers to kind of do an initial shortlisting. So imagine sitting at home, I can communicate my real estate property to my customer in the most immersive way possible. So that is possible today with a lot of collaborative real estate applications that allow you to do that. And the fourth key technology is the rise of GPU cloud computing. So this is powerful technology that is coming up in the entire concept of cloud computing, where Amazon, Google, they are investing heavily on streaming applications on cloud. So previously, if you look at what is GPU cloud computing, just to give you a background, previously, if you look at it, if you needed to play a high level game or a high level application, you needed to invest in a hardware. That hardware used to cost somewhere around 2 to 3 lakhs of rupees. But with the entire concept of GPU cloud computing, now you can have these expensive computers on cloud and you don't need to invest on the hardware. You just get access of this hardware on time, where you can create applications that can be hosted on cloud and can be streamed on mobile and web devices. So the impact of this is, previously when we used to do heavy 3D real estate applications, right? It was always limited to offline experiences. But with the power of GPU cloud computing, you can deploy very high quality applications of real estate, like showing them their properties, their location, their high quality videos, everything you can show them remotely using the GPU cloud computing. So this basically concludes my first part of the presentation, where now moving on to the second part, where I'm going to show you how these technologies actually solve the problems in the real estate industry. So if you look at the current real estate landscape, there are 3 core problem statements which every real estate builder faces. One of the core things that real estate in residential real estate, especially, they do that is that they build physical model flats and they have to physically stage them. So, and post construction sometimes even destroy them. So this is kind of an expensive way to kind of build physical spaces when you have multiple variants that you want to showcase your customer. Secondly, 2D assets like photos, videos, and floor plans, when you show that to a customer, it is very hard for you to communicate what you need to actually visualize as a customer, right? So for a customer, it becomes like mandatory that after seeing this also, I have to visit multiple times to multiple sites before I can make my final decision. And thirdly, the entire concept of remote showcases with the pandemic. How do you actually show your property in a remote possible way is kind of a difficult problem to solve. Like using Zoom or a WhatsApp call, if you kind of do this, it's very difficult for the customer to kind of get a complete in-depth understanding. So if you look at it, what we understood right now is we kind of created a module and we tested it with a lot of real estate clients to see that how this kind of works with them. So we merged three major technologies to kind of create a holistic experience for customers. Firstly, we kind of created an entire 3D visualization for their project, their surroundings, and their amenities, everything. Then we merged that to the digital transaction, which is your booking process, all your payment gateways, online transaction. And thirdly, connecting that to virtual site visits, that is showcasing this remotely to a customer. So if you look at 3D visualization, the core aspects of what is involved in a consumer decision making is that you look at the project, you look at its orientation, you look at what is in its surroundings, you look in your amenities, then you go into the interiors. So it's like a story flow that a real estate salesperson pitches, right? So you using the high quality 3D visualizations, you can now digitize all of this in one single experience. But today, if you just create 3D, right, it's kind of disconnected if you do not connect it with the digital transaction. So in this case, what we did was we also linked the 3D experiences to the digital transaction part, that is to integrate with live inventory and also the customer application form. So all the offline processes, which takes a lot of time in real estate, we kind of digitized it and linked it to the 3D application that allows you to kind of take the customer through their journey. So it's like inventory management, your online payment gateway, e-sign integration, everything gets linked to your 3D. And once you do all that, you also need to connect your remote showcases part. That is, how do you communicate all this information to your customer in a remote possible way? So in that case, what we did was we kind of created a voice and video application that allows you to kind of showcase your properties in a collaborative aspect to your customers anywhere around the world. So in this case, we also enabled real estate sales teams to operate highly, like in a very efficient manner by scheduling calls, by monitoring their sales performance. So it's like a fully built voice and video conferencing application for real estate sales teams. So now let me take you through a live demo use cases of all these technologies in live action and what are the industry results that we saw from the customers. So one of the first use cases is how do you avoid paying a building model flats and save a lot of money using the 3D technology. So one of the use cases that I'm going to show you is an experience that is built completely for a web and mobile viewing experience. So you can see here as a customer now, without even going to the model flat or without, as a developer, without even building the model flat, now I can use 3D technology to create experiences like this, which allows me to give the customer a complete overview of my project. So you can see here, these are created using the same 3D technology that I was mentioning, where you can create high quality visualizations at a fraction of cost and time. So as a customer, now I can walk through the entire experience as if I was walking through the model flat. Here, the best part is instead of building model flat, the customer actually created all this in 3D. So you can create for multiple variants, that is your studio apartment, 1 BHK, 2 BHK, all of them in real time. And you can give a customer an experience as if he was walking around the flat. In some cases, we have also seen that wherever you need to communicate the viewpoint for a customer, we have seen customers also integrate their drone shots with this 3D experience. That allows you to kind of visualize how their entire view from that particular property is. So this allows the customer to get a complete in-depth understanding of how your real estate purchase is going to be. So you're virtually visiting a site just by using this 3D technology. Another use case, this was something very interesting that we saw, that one of the customers actually wanted, they had built their already built property. But you know that if you try to showcase an empty flat, it's kind of not completely visualizing for the customer to understand how my lifestyle would be in that particular flat. So for this particular customer, we kind of documented, we took pictures of his empty flat. And just from the empty flat, we were able to do a virtual staging on it. So this saves a huge amount of cost for that particular developer. Rather than investing in their furniture and kind of giving it on scrap, Now he can do all that virtually using our powerful virtual staging product. So this enables you to kind of give a complete overview of how your entire flat would look like with the furnishings without actually investing in the furnishings. Then coming to the third aspect of how do you kind of showcase your entire project and product experience remotely, right? So in this case, we kind of created a complete model of your project and your surroundings as if you can take the customer through a complete walkthrough. So you can see here in this case, your project is located and we all actually do a location mapping of your project so that your project can be shown in the best possible way. So once you show this, you actually can take the customer through a full project experience. So show him the first exterior view of the project, then take him to the surroundings view. So in the surroundings view, kind of showcase the most important aspects like what is your major roadways, what is the railway lines, all this information that a customer needs in the decision making. You can also map out the most crucial information like your restaurants, your education centers. So when someone clicks on it, you kind of give an information of what that particular thing is. So this basically gives the customer an understanding of the location and the landmark. Once you go through this, you can switch to the amenities view of the project. The amenities view of the project, again, you can use one of the high quality visualization technology. If it is not yet built, you can use the 3D to kind of showcase them in a realistic way. If it is fully built, you can obviously take photographs and just connect to the platform. So in this case, like for example, the swimming pool, just using the swimming pool plan, we were able to generate like high quality visualization of the entire swimming pool and how this is going to be seen in the future. So once you go through amenities, the next part, you can actually go into the collateral. So you can manage all your collaterals in one place. That is your brochures, your floor plans, your 3D walkthrough videos, so that the customer can take, you can take the customer through the entire project aspects of collaterals. And finally, once you have seen all that, next decision making is go into the inventory and see the flat, right? So in this case, we have mapped the inventory with the 3D. So I can click on any of the particular flat and I can actually click on going inside that flat and seeing that particular variant. So this is basically a powerful full-fledged storyboarding concept where you can tell the customer what your project is about, your landmarks, your amenities, then take him through the interior experiences. So once the customer is convinced, you can take him to the second part of the experience as well, where you can get all his major details and you can get an online booking from him by integrating with payment gateways and automatically generating a PDF document, which is your offline process, completely digitized using just forms. So you can see here that with these 3 core technologies, once you like take him through the 3D experience, then you take him through the digital transaction. All this can be taken through a Zoom call or using a virtual site visit tool. And you can take the customer through the entire journey and you can do a digital remotely showcase the real estate as well as make a booking. So some of the customer impacts that we have seen across our builders is that we have seen that digital experiences built using these latest technologies actually increase 400% of your customer engagement. And we have also seen that in the last 3 months during a complete lockdown, there are developers who use our platform to kind of create sales of more than 30 to 40% of their units were sold using just a digital platform. So one of the key testimonials and impact that we received was that their major impact was that using these technologies, their sales teams have become more productive in terms of like rather than waiting on the site, they basically now can invite NRI customers on a remote call using these platforms and take them through the virtual site visit. So that's basically it from my side. I think I've covered most of the technology aspects and the industry use case. I'm open for any questions that you guys might have.
Sundar, we have one question where they're talking about that while technologies are there, and they are easily available. There are providers. How is the real estate or the business leaders from real estate are adopting these technologies? Is there, because real estate, as you know, is known for being traditional in the way it works. So, what is the acceptance you are seeing right now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So to be frank, Sapna, initially we had like before pandemic, I would tell you that story that when we actually approached real estate, right? So it was like always like it is like all these technologies are too futuristic. We are not there yet. We don't want to like kind of invest in all these technologies. But then once we started slowly seeing the entire impact of pandemic, we saw that a lot of real estate developers started understanding that these technologies actually are not expensive to do, but these are actually allowing you to do a lot of cost cutting. And they also saw that with this entire technology, when you can actually pitch it to customers in a remote way, your acceptance rate can become better. So we saw that from developer side, the acceptance rate slowly increased, and with the pandemic they have now started understanding that this is mostly like a must-have product for them rather than just a nice to have.
Okay.
So yeah, that is evolving as we go along.
Okay, so the start is there. There is a level of acceptance, and I'm sure it will gradually grow. It will continue to grow across cities now. What are the expectations of the prop tech companies? There are companies like you who are doing good with grade A developers and all. What are your expectations going forward?
So to be frank, one of the key things that we expect from developers is that they completely understand the life cycle of all these products and how this can actually add value to them. Their understanding in terms of how this can actually involve in their day-to-day processes, right? So sometimes see some of these technologies that I have shown, like remotely showcasing a property, these involve habit changes in consumers. Like it involves your sales team to kind of change behavior to a great extent, like showcase customers remotely first before you kind of take them through a physical site visit. So these are all habit driven products where you might need to push some of these products through your system so that your teams can adopt it and get better ROIs from it. Because otherwise, if you just implement technology, you won't get the ROI, then you kind of feel that, okay, this is not working. So there also has to be some kind of push from them to kind of start involving and using this across their teams.
Okay, so educating your customer also, so because that is the end user of course is one of the biggest stakeholder in this entire ecosystem of the developer and the prop tech company and then the customer. So some onus lies on the developers to educate the customer also. But I think we have seen during this pandemic, digital, all consumers, all customers, and especially we have seen millennials have been the buyers. So yes, they are already digital savvy and tech savvy, and they have adopted these new ways of looking for properties and visiting properties, as you mentioned. Any before we let go of you, any last words? How you see beyond 2021 for real estate and for prop tech?
I think it's quite an exciting time. One of the key trends I've seen is that, as you said, like it's a very good point of bringing out millennial experience, right? So India has a population of more than 50% who are young generation. So these are going to be the next phase of home buyers. So for them, we need to kind of market rather than a non-traditional way. We need to market in a more modern way. So we see that the growth of prop tech is just starting. With these technologies adopting, all the millennial generation would be probably adopting in this way rather than a traditional way of marketing.